Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ion Energy's channel, Mongolia's first lithium brine explorer, forefronting the industry. As always, we have Ali Haji, the Chief Executive Officer. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's always good to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you. You guys are forefronting probably one of the most intriguing commodities and industries right now, obviously with OEMs and the advancement in lithium as it stands today, sitting at decade highs. But before we kind of dive down into some of the strategic positioning and what you guys are doing moving forward, you're going to go visit the Mongolian site, and you're also taking some pretty intriguing people with you. Can you kind of just offer insights here on what you guys are doing over there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the pandemic has caused a lot of companies to be unable to visit their sites and also not bring the necessary skill set to those locations where you're looking to de-risk via exploration. And for Ion, that's been very much the case, much like others in the industry. Mongolia is a country in which brine has rarely ever been explored for, and so that skill set is lacking. As we've discussed in previous interviews, we did a fair bit of work last year, but that was truly to scratch the surface. So as of Friday this week, I will be going to Mongolia with Don Haynes. He is our lead technical advisor. He's worked on a number of lithium projects around the world, including Lithium Americas, now valued at over $5 billion. I'm also taking Dr. Mark King. Dr. Mark King was the lead technical advisor for Neolithium that sold for close to $1 billion in last quarter. So these are some industry names that have really spent the better part of their careers de-risking lithium assets around the world. And their focus when they come with us to Mongolia is to review the assets in person, on the ground, look at similarities based on what they see with respect to what assets they've worked on, but importantly, to train the local workforce to be able to kick off a capital-intensive exploration program on both our assets now that we have access to those assets. So we're going to spend 4 days in total on both sites. Kicking off geological testing, hydrogeology, as well as some drilling. So we'll have an auger rig program, an RC rig program as well. We'll have a drone following us around, so folks can look forward to some footage as to what we accomplished and where we were, if you will, in future releases. So we're extremely excited to get this trip off the ground. We're extremely excited about the prospect of using world-class expertise to really have this capital-intensive exploration program kick off this year.
Yeah, and you guys are sitting in a fascinating area just because you're right next to China. You're in kind of this really heated market for lithium use, considering what I think China has the largest lithium producer right now. But you guys I feel like you guys are this kind of pivotal moment this year where you're going to start proving out the capabilities and I guess the inferred resources. For newer investors, can you kind of just give us a brief insight into what your strategy is here moving into spring, summer, and what we can kind of expect out of this year?
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right that the market for lithium and batteries going into OEMs has never been higher. Our proximity to the Chinese market, and the Chinese consume 53% of the world's lithium today. We're only 23 kilometers from that market. We hold 110,000 hectares of highly prospective brine assets with grades as high as 1,502 ppm. So that's pretty significant on a world class, if you will. Our strategic objectives over the course of the year are to bring on a strategic investor, be it Asian or otherwise. Obviously, the Asian market would be the ideal suitor given our proximity to them. But it is one of our goals to bring in at least one strategic investor over the course of this year. As you correctly mentioned, we will have an early resource indication closer towards the end of the year, but we will have news flow now that we have access to our assets and we're training the team to execute upon our exploration promises. So all in, a very exciting year for us. I think the market and everybody that's watching this can follow us, and I think you'll find that we're massively discounted relative to our peers. So a lot to come.
I appreciate those insights, Ali. And on that note, I want to pass the question off to you guys. We'd love to know what you think about all this in that comment section below. Consider subscribing because, as he mentioned, when this news hits the wire, we'll continue to update you here. But stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.